Hey there, how are you doing? It's me again, by birth, Alex William Smith, better known to many as Jonathan Royle, hypnotist of Magical Guru. That's magicalguru.co.uk. Before I go into this video about David Charles Grusch, Grusch, the gentleman who's been interviewed by News Nation and Debrief and has said yesterday, I believe, the 5th of June 2023, and I'm making this video on the 6th of June 2023, he said that he has evidence that the American government have covered up to the level of covering it up even so the Pentagon don't know the fact that they've recovered multiple non-human origin spacecraft, you may call them, vehicles, and non-human entities in terms of drivers of those spacecraft, some may refer to as aliens. I have watched the video. Now you can see that video at the link above or below this, the interview on News Nation. And they mention on there, I've got some bits of paper here so I don't get it wrong. Let me just have a look. They mention on there that David Charles Grusch, the whistleblower, is an Air Force veteran and former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. And in the interview, that's at the link above or below, the video interview on News Nation, he's speaking to a lady called Elizabeth Vargas of News Nation, but it was also released at the other link you'll see him writing. Few things to note about this. Call me cynical, but before I pass these things by you, I want to tell you something. In my autobiography, Confessions of a Psychic Hypnotist, I make mention of when I was very young, probably about 3, 4 at most, waking up in a caravan because I was born on the circus, so a trailer caravan as we call them, in the middle of the night, and seeing what I would now refer to in simplistic form as what people refer to as a grey alien. Okay, now I know that a perfectly logical explanation for that would be sleep apnea, hallucinations, or other psychological phenomenon. But for me in that moment, it was very real. I felt so scared that I couldn't get out of bed to run into the other room to my parents. I also felt so scared and unable to make any noise. And I felt at that time, the way I felt it was as though stuff was being downloaded to my brain. Again, probably all imaginary, probably perfectly rational explanation, but that is what I experienced at that time. That is how it felt. Further, I believe it would be ridiculous to think that we are alone on this, in this universe, and that there isn't something else living elsewhere. But why would they want to visit us? And how would it be possible anyway? But with that in mind, there's lots of things out there that cloud the issue. For example, the Roswell alien autopsy that came out in the 90s. Well, there's still debate as to whether that's real or not, despite the fact that many people involved in it, including Ray Santilli, who got the footage apparently and then released it to the world, well, he's admitted at least that it's not original footage, it's a recreation of what he claims was original footage that he had. However, the truth of the matter is that my good friend, member of the Magic Circle, fellow magician, SPYROS MELARIS, created the alien autopsy hoax that was released through Ray Santilli, and he has a wonderful book out on that. The link for that will also be above or below this video as well. And I interviewed him about this at length. Again, the links to that interview are above or below this video. So if you want to know the real truth behind the Roswell-related alien autopsy footage and attempt footage and all that kind of stuff, then check out the interview I did with SPYROS MELARIS above or below this video, and also get his book that you can get from the link above or below this video. So now, moving on to David Charles Grusch, Grusch. The link to the News Nation interview will be above or below this video. But the key points of this, in a nutshell, my gut feeling when I watched it is, things are not as they seem. And then I concentrated more on body language, and I saw various signals and cues that to me indicate deception or dishonesty, including avoiding answering questions directly. For example, when asked how many craft or how many of these non-human vehicles there are, rather than going 6, 7, 8, 3, 2, or giving an actual number, which surely if the individual's seen evidence, they would know of such things. Things would certainly have been documented, something as basic as that. And no, instead the answer is, looking at my notes at the side, quite a number. How odd. Now, I just want to look at my notes here. Other things. He's got no evidence. He says he's seen evidence and it's been submitted, but he can't show it was due to national security. Well, surely if it was down to national security, he shouldn't be even telling us about it. Because all the evidence would do is confirm that what he said is genuine. To me, lack of evidence until it appears is the biggest red light of all. Do I believe there are such things as non-human origin vehicles that may have crashed at some point? Unlikely, but not impossible, because as I say, I am prepared to believe there's other things in this world. But there would have to be if I did see an alien when I was younger. So if there aren't, then I couldn't have seen an alien. It must have been sleep apnea or some similar related sleep condition. But given that over the years I have been told that I sleepwalk or sleep talk and whatever, it seems that logic and weight of evidence would seem to indicate that I was probably hallucinating rather than having a genuine alien encounter. But there again, I could have done, because I've always had strange insights in terms of learning hypnosis and psychological techniques and been highly successful from a young age. And I don't really know where that natural ability came from. I've studied things, but the things I've studied only confirm that which I naturally seem to know. So who knows? Anyway, he said quite a number. Why no exact details? Even News Nation say they've not seen any evidence. Even David Charles Grusch apparently said he's not even seen any photographs. So he's been told stuff. Everything he's relating is second-hand or third-hand. I'm not saying that people are taking the piss out of him, but maybe they are. But I would say, look at Project Bluebeam. Now, yes, Bluebeam was, they say, created as a conspiracy theory by a Canadian journalist called Serge Monast, S-E-R-G-E, Serge Monast, M-O-N-A-S-T, and it was the idea that aliens would appear and basically guide everyone or scare everyone into going into a one-world religion. Well, all I'm going to say is PSYOPs definitely take place. In England, we have the 77th Battalion, which is a division of the British Army that is dedicated to psychological warfare, psychological operations. America have a similar thing. This roots back to after the war, many years ago, the CIA setting up MK Ultra, which worked in conjunction with the Tavistock Institute, or rather the Tavistock Hospital in London, which later became the Tavistock Institute of Human Relations, which coincidentally happens to be in the same building on a back street in London as the British Psychological Society, who make money from, many of their members make money prescribing drugs for profit based on a work of fiction that's voted on by a committee called DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Illness and Disease. These are things I'll go into more in my documentary, Extreme Danger, Extreme Hypnosis, where we look at how you are all psychologically conditioned, manipulated, and hypnotised from all areas of your life, from cradle to the grave. And as part of that, governments do indeed, that's one thing that David Grusch is definitely right about, governments do use disinformation and distraction techniques because it's ideal for them to have the mass populace in a state of confusion and disorientation. When your mind is confused and disorientated, it means that your brain capacity is being used up on trying to work out why you're confused and disorientated, and therefore suggestions, commands that are given to you through the media and through other mediums of perceived authority figures are less critically analysed and are more likely to take root in your neck-top computer, your unconscious, subconscious mind, making it easier for them to control the mass populace. And in England, the Tavistock Institute has an offshoot called the Behavioural Insights Team, BIT for short, that's located in Westminster, and it's affectionately dubbed in the media as the Nudge Unit, because its aim is to nudge people into their way of thinking. So there's no evidence. He's not seen any photos. He's heard things second and third hand. Do we believe him? Well, as I say, some of his body language is a bit bizarre. He doesn't answer things directly. I believe that he may believe what he was saying to be true, but I suspect that it's more a case of slowly getting people conditioned to this information being released. So, is there a possibility that there have been crash craft and bodies found? Obviously, possibly. But until I see evidence and until anyone is shown cast iron evidence, probably not. It's more likely a psyop to panic other governments into thinking, have we found something before them? In the same way that in the space race, there's that whole debate about whether we did get to the moon before other people and all that kind of thing. It's all a psychological distraction. It's also an idea of perhaps putting fear into people, false evidence against reality. So it distracts them from other things that are going on in the world. And yeah, also maybe there will be that staged alien invasion sometime in a matter of months or years to help guiding the agendas of Agenda 2030 and other conspiracy theories, which incidentally, conspiracy theory was a term in use way before the CIA popularised it. They didn't invent it, they popularised it and made it psychologically appear like a negative term. Look, the poster up there behind me is for my documentary. This. Boom. Let's have a look. That. There. Extreme danger. Extreme hypnosis. It's time for the sleepwalking zombies to wake up. Learn how you've been hypnotised from cradle to the grave at the links above or below this video. There'll be one link and then all the other links will be there. So in a nutshell, I think there's some non-verbal body language signals that say that either some of what he's saying isn't entirely true, or at some level he suspects some of it himself, or that there's more to this than meets the eye. That I am confident. There's more to this than meets the eye. Is this the definitive proof that aliens exist and have already visited us? I don't think so, to be honest. My gut feeling is no, this isn't it. And definitely the alien autopsy, Roswell, most definitely wasn't, because you at the above link or below can see my interview with SPYROS MELARIS, the man who created the alien autopsy hoax. I'll leave you from this short video with my most recent encounter with an alien. Enjoy. Well, hello there. Do you know any Earthlings at all? Have you ever been to Earth before? This is the world's worst ventriloquist art, by the way, because it's all mental communication, because it's an alien. Isn't that right? Yes, it is. Ah, do you know any Earthlings? Yes. What is the name of the Earthling that you know? This will be fun. SPYROS MELARIS. Oh, how do you know him then? He made the alien autopsy video. Yes, indeed. Oh, you saw that video as well. Was it real? No, it's a fake. I think we'll leave that at that. I definitely can't do Ven. But SPYROS, hello mate. You alright?